Breaking news. Sanctuary cities may be a no-win scenario for liberals, Ben Marquis. Article states, a liberal federal judge in San Francisco issued a nationwide temporary injunction against President Donald Trump's recent executive order threatened to defund sanctuary cities that refuse to comply with the enforcement of federal immigration laws. So this judge basically is going against his oath of office and going against the president of the land in order to go against the law of the land. Does this make any sense to you? Because to me it does not. According to Forbes, Judge William H. Orrick seemingly relied on precedents set by conservative legal challenges to the Obama administration, such as the coerced state Medicaid expansion as part of Medicare that was soundly rejected by the Supreme Court, to make his decision that the Trump administration had overstepped its bounds. In his 49-page ruling, Judge Orrick also cited the 10th Amendment of the Constitution multiple times, writing that the order violated the, quote, prohibition against commandeering local jurisdictions, end quote, among other arguments based on the ideals of states' rights and sovereignty under federalism. While many conservatives support the idea of cracking down on sanctuary cities and withholding federal funds from them to coerce cooperation with federal law, the federalism argument may be the liberal judge in defense of such uncooperated jurisdictions should not be overlooked, as it ultimately plays into conservative hands on other issues relating to an overreaching federal government. Philip Hodges of Eagle Rising recently wrote, quote, liberals should not be cheering on the judge who overturned Trump's efforts to withhold funding from states with sanctuary cities. They like big government, and they like the idea of a strong central government dictating everything to states, which liberals view as subservient to the feds. They should be the ones up in arms over judges' decisions, end quote. That's what he said. Further to that argument, he linked it to a post written about a month ago by Eric Erickson of The Resurgent, which was titled, 3 Cheers for Sanctuary Cities. Quote, when the Supreme Court ruled several years ago that the federal government cannot compel local police to enforce federal laws, conservatives cheered, end quote. This is what Erickson wrote, and he added, when the Supreme Court ruled just a few years ago that the federal government cannot compel states to expand Medicare, conservatives again cheered. Conservatives should actually cheer on liberals wanting sanctuary cities because it ultimately advances our goals, not theirs. When they go to court and find favorable liberal judges giving legal sanction to sanctuary cities, the judges will not be able to carve out exceptions just for state-level avoidance of federal immigration enforcement. The same legal logic will apply to other areas as well, end quote. Erickson further argued that it was ultimately the responsibility of voters in sanctuary jurisdictions to decide whether such policies were acceptable or not, and while the feds shouldn't be allowed to withhold funds simply because of those policies, neither should they dole out any extra funds to help correct the inevitable problems that will arise from such policies, leaving the locality or state to deal with it themselves. Quote, there will come a time when Democrats again run Washington. They will at that time try again to eradicate 10th Amendment protections and disrupt federalism. But now, out of power, they are laying the foundation for a very strong wall that will one day protect us from them and their encroachments on states' rights, end quote. That's what he warned. While sitting back and watching liberals cheer on their dubious and temporary legal victory regarding sanctuary cities may be a bitter pill to swallow for them, solace can be taken in the fact that the big government liberals themselves are laying the groundwork for a future defense by conservatives against an overbearing federal government sticking its nose into state and local level business. One must wonder if that uber-liberal Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals will understand the full ramifications of the decision and rule against sanctuary cities in order to prevent strengthening the 10th Amendment and the ideal of state sovereignty under federalism. This is on Conservative Tribune. I'll leave a link below for you for this.